All right, welcome back to part two. Last time we were talking about just the beginning basics of the first screen and getting into the game. Now I'm going to continue from the map selection screen, or the map screen that you see here, right? And we were talking about doing the stuff at the top that you see. We talked about the renown as well as what the renown is for when you go and claim your rewards for that particular area. Now, let me go back. I pressed triangle to get into the claim rewards area, right? So for now, in Fractured Peaks, I have 650 earned renown. So that means I can collect um, um, these first two rewards. The bottom reward that you see, the plus one skill point, the plus one potion capacity, and then for the other three next to it, plus one skill point, plus four paragon points, and plus 80 max ovals. Um, Once you claim those for one character, they get applied to all characters that you create. Okay, so every character would be able to get those. It's the gold at the top that you would be working towards when when you do a new character, right? But being as this is the first character that you're doing, these won't be checked off at the bottom. You'll have to just play the game, um, and do the things at the bottom that you see. The waypoints give you a renown value of 20, and there's seven of them in the Fractured Peaks. Waypoints are, basically cities and locations of where you can fast travel to make it easier to get around the map. Strongholds. In each of the areas, I believe there's only three strongholds. Uh, Strongholds is basically what's the best way to put it? It's an area that is controlled by the enemies, and that you have to solve a puzzle or kill certain enemies to be able to unlock the area. Right? It's the the enemies are a little bit more powerful than, a little bit more stronger than you are in these areas, because in Diablo 4, um, the enemies that you face scale up with you. So if you're level 5, the enemies are going to be level 5. If you're level 20, the enemies are going to be level 20. But in strongholds, I believe they're 2 levels ahead of you. So if you're level 10, the enemies are going to be level 12. But luckily, the powers that you have, you should be able to take care of strongholds, no problem at all, right? Side quests, you get 30 for completing each side quest, and in the Fracture Peaks, there's 38. Side quests are those quests that you do outside of the main campaign, right? Areas discovered. Um, when you first start out, this will be 0, because you have to physically go to each of these locations to be able to discover the areas, right? So, and as you find these areas, you'll get 5 renown for each area that you find. Okay. Side dungeons, those are all of the dungeons that are in this area. There are 23. Now, what I have learned is that some of the side dungeons don't show up until you do quests. There are quests that actually open these up. It's both in the campaign as well as uh, quests for the quests for the NPCs that are in the game. NPC is a non-playable character. It's basically, you know, your merchants, your citizens of the towns, and the quest givers. And then altars of Lilith. Um, b- what these are locations throughout um, the areas that once you find them and click on it, it'll give you like +2 to your intelligence, +2 to your armor, +2 uh, to your wisdom. Um, Basically, it's a way to increase your characters uh, and their abilities through finding the altars of Lilith. Now, in the Fractured Peaks, there's 28 of them, and once you find these for one character, it's applied to all characters that you create. Okay, so there's that. And then, as you notice, there are up at the top here, there are six different areas that you go to. You've got the Fractured Peaks, you got Skosglen, Dry Steppes, Kyrgyzstan, Havazar, and then the new area for Vessel of Hatred is Nehantu. Um, and each one, again, has its own list of waypoint strongholds, side quests, areas discovered, side dungeons, and then for you either have the altars of Lilith that you go find, or you have the tenets of Akarat uh, for the new area. Okay. Um, Something to keep in mind though, for the tenets of Akarat, they don't give you any bonuses to your attributes, but they have some really good sayings in them, uh, that make you kind of think about them. Uh, okay, but the biggest thing of the reason why to find them is because of the renown value. It gives you 10 for each one that you find, right? All right, so there's that. So that's what the ribbon is up at the top. It's, you know, uh, next to renown on the right hand side. That is your waypoints. You got 0 of 7. Your strongholds 0 of 3. Your side quests 0 of 38. Your areas that you found. I've got 74 of 74, but you probably may have one or two when you first start out. Side dungeons 0 of 23, and then the altars of Lilith, which is 28 of 28 for me anyway. Right? Okay, so let's talk about the next one. You know what? No, let's not. I actually want to talk about the stuff at the bottom. Notice where it says filter, open party finder, center on player, pan, zoom, pin location, and close, right? Let's talk about all those. If you go into filter, basically you have to hold up for me, right? And this gives you a filter on the map of all of the icons that are on the map that you can find and see. So if you wanted to get rid of some of these things, all you have to do is just go into the filter and then uncheck what you don't want. Kind of clean up the map for you if you'd like. So after you found all of the altars of Lilith and the tenants, you could turn those off, right? Because if you look, you could see them all. All these guys right here. Altar of Lilith, right? If I don't need those anymore, which you probably don't once you find them the first time, you can turn all those off and you not have to worry about it anymore. See, dungeons, we'll go to each one. I'll go to each one and show you what they are. All right. Didn't mean to do all that. So this is a dungeon, okay, as the filter shows. All right. If you'll notice at the bottom of the dungeon, there's that yellow, it kind of looks like a leaf to me, but what that means is that there is you haven't done the dungeon yet. And what that means is that there is a ability in that dungeon that you'll get after you beat the final boss of the dungeon that you will get for your characters that you'll be able to use. And what do I mean by that? Is that right there. This is Betrayer's Row, and it gives you a little background about it. But the big thing is the reward at the end, the aspect of potent blood. it's for necromancer only, but you can do it on any character, right? So for the very first character that you would be doing, I would go through and do every single dungeon, because that's how you get all of your aspects. And aspects are abilities that you can put on your armor and your weapons to increase the power of your character. Okay? And how you do that is that you'll go to the blacksmith, I believe it's the blacksmith, to be able to apply those. And I'll show you that here in a minute. Okay? So these are what dungeons look like. They're all over the map. And like I said, each area has a certain number of dungeons. And each area, or each dungeon, each dungeon has its own reward for you. Okay? So there. Alright, so there's dungeons. Okay, so there's another one that you could go get. Ancient Lament gives you the aspect of volatile shadows. And that's for a rogue. Okay, so there's that part. Let's see. Go back into the filters. Strongholds. So I'm going to turn those off. Strongholds. That's these guys here. Okay. Like I said earlier, each area has 3 strongholds that you can go do. Basically, it's a story within the story. Enemies have taken hold of these strongholds, and they're a little bit more. They're 2 above you in level for the enemies in the area, so you'll have to um, be powerful enough to take them out. But luckily, with the powers that you have and the aspects that you're going to go get and use, you should have no problems doing this. If you do, then my suggestion would be to go run the dungeons to be able to get the aspects to put onto your character so that you can be more powerful than they are. And remember, they scale up with you, so if you want to do it at 10, you can do that, and they'll be at level 12, but you can't say, oh, wait, if they're level 12, if I become 15, I'll be more powerful than them. Well, no, that didn't work that way, because they scale up with you. So if you go to 15, they're going to go to 17. Okay, so it all depends on when you want to go do them, but they're fun. Some of them actually open up waypoints for you. So if you're, working in one area and you want to go get all the waypoints, you may have to open up a stronghold to be able to do it. Okay. Let's see, what's the next thing? Events. What's the best way to describe this? When events happen, from time to time, you'll see timers show up on the left-hand side of your map. Those timers are the events that are taking place. And you can scroll through your map and find where the event is in order to see where you need to go in order to engage in that event. I don't think there's anything on here right now because this is a brand new character for me. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here. Maybe there's a world boss or something that shows up. But anyway, that's basically what the events are. They are, remember I was telling you about Realm Walkers? That's an event that you can go and search and find it where it is to be able to know where you need to go in order to engage with that. There's world bosses that happen from time to time. I think they're on a, don't quote me on this, but I think it's like a 20-minute timer or maybe even an hour timer. Hopefully it's 20 minutes, but they show up. There's a whole bunch of characters that want to take out the world bosses because it's one of the best ways to get gold and equipment. For me, anyway, that's just how I've encountered it. Oh no! Wonder what happened there. guess because I haven't been doing anything. Anyway, let me go back into that. Sorry about that. Sometimes it happens. Okay. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, or at least I hope it's helping. Because if it isn't, then I'm sorry. I don't want to waste your time, trying to listen to an hour-long speech from me. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Let's see, we're going back into the filters. Events we've talked about. Whispers of the Dead. Okay, spoiler alert. When you get to a certain part of the story, you'll learn about the Whispers of the Dead. It's basically a tree that has a whole bunch of heads hanging down from it. Throughout the map, there'll be red areas. Right now, it's not going to do it because you got to progress into the story. There'll be red areas that you'll go to, and there'll be areas of where you can get there's events that will be taking place that you'll collect coins to be able to spend on treasure chests that are in this area. And as you do that, you'll get what's known as Whispers of the Dead. And what you do is, as soon as you get 10 of these, you'll go to the tree to be able to select a certain reward that gives you, gloves, pants, gems, things of that nature. And then once you open it up, it'll give you, like 3 or 4 of those certain type of whatever reward that you selected. I could go into this a little bit more on another character, just so you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. You know what? Let me do that for you. So we're gonna leave. Just leave now. Okay. This is my guy, Dark Whisper. One of, I should say. Alright, so here's my area. Now, if I open this up, there should be... Oh. Doesn't show it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh. I don't have it on this character. Guess I got stuff to do. Alright, so... No, that's not what I wanted either. Sorry. Like I said, this is all raw, so I'm just doing it to show you guys. So please bear with me. Alright, where's the one that I want to do? We can go with him. I think he has everything. So let's go. Let's see.
This is fine, as far as talents go.
Okay, so a few things that I can tell you. See I was talking about the left-hand side? It says Realm Walker 4 minutes, Legion 9 minutes. Those are the events that I was telling you about. So if I go back... Oh, what? Sorry. Alright, so if I go back and do the events... Dungeon Star. So let me just open all these back up again. Right? That way I can show you. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Oh, come on. Okay. So a couple of things that you can see already is, you see at the very bottom it says Whispers of the Dead, and it says Grim Favors 9 of 10, right? What you do is you go through these areas right here, these are called hell tides. Okay, and what happens is during these hell tides, the area turns red, and you'll get attacked by enemies. Okay, and if you go and do um, these areas, you'll get Whispers of the Dead for each of the events that you do. Like this right here, it says Slay Cultist 075. You'll get one Grim Favor, which is what happens at the bottom. Right? That's how you increase those. Is you go into these Hell Tides and you do these, quests. I would say, and then the rewards are the number of Grim Favors that you get. Now, what's the benefit of this? Is once you get 10, you'll go to the Tree of Whispers. Remember where it is. Right here. Yeah, right here. And you'll get your rewards from the tree. Okay? And that's later on down the line when you get into the 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 campaign part of the story. Right? You'll learn about the Tree of Whispers and why it's there and what they're going to do for you. Right? Okay, so we talked about the Whispers. We talked about uh, um, the events. We've already talked about the altars and tenants, crafters. Each of the main cities, okay, like Kilvashad is the first one that you'll get to. They will have crafters. What's going on there? That's interesting. Huh. Okay, let's travel to Kilvashad. Wait, where am I? Aha, here. We'll make it easier. All right, so you'll see all the crafters here. Okay, each of the designs, the armor or icons, the armor vendor, the stash. That's where you can put things. Stuff that you want to keep, maybe use for later. Uh, Weapons. 9 times out of 10, you won't have to buy a weapon because most of the time you're going to be getting drops for your weapons. These guys are basically for selling stuff that you don't want to use. Um, the Artificer's Obelisk. This you will use this down the road when you want to increase your glyphs, and we'll get to that in a little while. Alchemists. Those are for your potions. No. Heal. You can go into the towns and actually say you've used 3 or 4 of your potions and you need to replenish them, you could go to the heal person and get those replenished. You could select difficulty there. You've also got the Purveyor of Curiosities. If you wanted to, you could go to this person and they will allow you to gamble for any piece of equipment. What that means is you have those ovals that I was telling you about. Okay, ovals, these guys here, and you can spin those to try to get items. And it's random. You can get anything from a very common item to a very uncommon item, meaning you could get a basic dagger to the best dagger in the game, and all points in between. It all depends. It all depends on how much you want to spend to try to get it. Throughout the game, there are also locked chests. And what you do in order to unlock those chests is if you go to the Purveyor. Is that here? No, that's Oculist. Let's see. Yeah, up. Aha. Okay. So if I wanted to, I could spend 50 ovals and try to get a sword, right? So I'm going to do this just to show you, right?
I had that in my bag.
So I had a rare sword, and then all of a sudden I got this sword. which is a unique sword. So that's pretty cool. And then you could, like I said, you can get all points in between, and it depends on how much you want to use. But the main reason why I come here is for these whispering keys. There are chests um, throughout the lands that are silent chests, and basically they have this really big lock on top of them. And the only way to open them is if you have a whispering key in your inventory. Uh, if you look to the right in the description of the key itself, it says it costs you 10 obols, but in the bag I have 30 of those. So I like to keep a certain number of these um, as I'm venturing throughout the areas, right? Um, okay, I'll be right back.